when we look at DigiYatra, traditionally you would take about 40 minutes from entering the airport reaching to your gate. But with DigiYatra, you can do that in 7 minutes. For India, I feel that when we expand the footprint of DigiYatra at multiple touchpoints and expand that to international passenger also, that will ensure and help reduce the congestion and the experience at the airport, and much smoother and better walkthrough experience. Our commitment to India is huge, so we are continuing to invest and making sure that we get the best technology to the country, making sure that we contribute to the vision of the government to really expand the aviation for India.
Are you planning to provide more services in the country?
So clearly, we've been proud, as you said, that in terms of providing the check-in system, baggage system, airport management system, and recently DigiYatra. So we have been, in addition to the 4 airports which we were doing for AAI and Bangalore and Nagpur, we've been recently awarded 12 more airports from Airport Authority of India to provide DigiYatra solution. And that agreement has a facility to expand to additional 28 airports. So clearly, we are really expanding quite a bit in terms of India. One other thing which we are also looking at is that how can we make system more open. So what we are trying to do today is, implement all the airports what we have with a solution which is called SITA Flex, which will help the airlines with APIs to reach out to their passengers directly. So making use of more open system and API-based systems.
So almost government is mentioning that during of third consecutive government of Modi era, that airports has increases over double. It's almost 120 or something. So can we expect DigiYatra will be implemented soon entire the country? I mean to say all the airports.
So clearly, as you rightly said, we are working very closely with even the ministry, and I'm proud to say that under the leadership of Modi government, they have a very large focus on aviation, and that is clearly making sure that every individual or every person in India could fly. That's the dream, right? And we are trying to do our part in terms of bringing the technology at the lowest cost, because most of the business which we have run are through the RFP process, which makes sure that we have the best technology and the cost which we can provide to everyone in India. So clearly, for our expansion, and as we said that not just providing what we build in India, but even for India for world. So we are doing a lot of our back office and software development work into India, and especially in Delhi and Gurgaon. So we are investing quite heavily in expanding a lot in India too.
There is a debate regarding artificial intelligence. How you are using an airport and aviation industry of artificial intelligence to provide smooth and hassle-free services for the passengers and the stakeholders?
So I would say artificial intelligence is really a buzzword which everyone uses in every technology what we deploy. Again, if the technology is used correctly, it certainly helps a long way. So it not only helps you in terms of the passenger to give you a better passenger experience, but also in terms of operational efficiency. So it basically studies in terms of the data what you have and gives a prediction to say how better you can serve the passenger, how better you can do your operation better. So just as an example, at the airport there could be issues because of weather, flight delays. When you have a certain time during the year when these happens, basically artificial intelligence will analyze those data and provide a predictive recommendation in terms of how you can better manage that. So certainly that helps a very long way in terms of doing that. So it's how you use the technology for the betterment rather than the other way. It certainly helps overall in terms of doing it.
What kind of process? I mean to say, for what are you using currently for the AI?
So we do for the operational efficiency at the airport on the airport management system. For example, the resource allocation, the gate allocation, in terms of how you manage your resources and serve the passenger better. The other area where we use this artificial intelligence a lot is also helping the airlines to reduce the fuel cost and also reduce the carbon footprint. So just as an example, we work with Vistara in India, work with Singapore Airlines, a number of airlines globally, where like us as human beings, we are different. Every aircraft is different. So our technology basically learns the data of each individual aircraft, and for that particular aircraft, it basically recommends a pilot that what speed and angle they should take off, which will help them reduce the fuel cost and at the same time reduce the carbon emission.
5G services is necessity of the in a lifetime, in a manner of our livelihood. How we understand and when we can assure to the citizen and countryman who is residing near to airport, they can avail the 5G services.
So clearly, as you rightly said, 5G is generally, if we look forward into the future, it is a game changer. It will help to do basically helping a lot of things in terms of reliability for the airports in terms of the technology. They can have a diverse infrastructure to help provide the better service and much faster service. Now there are questions in terms of the frequency interference and how this is secured. Clearly, currently it's going through a lot of certification and testing, but personally I feel it's a matter of time. Once they are cleared through those certifications and the regulatory requirement, it will be deployed widely in coming future.
So is there any plan to help with the airlines company? Because the former minister DigiYatra's India has said that there is a change of some equipments in the aircraft. Then only we can ensure about the accessibility of 5G services, because it's a matter of threat and security. Do you think SITA is any helping to change the equipments in the aircraft to make sure to implement 5G services near the airport?
So we are not into the equipment manufacturing ourselves, and those are done by the OEMs. So for example, Airbus, Boeing, they do that. What they are doing is, as I said, they're working with a lot of regulators and also ensuring that the new aircrafts which they are manufacturing takes this into account. So now there are two parts to it. One is the new technology and the new equipment which comes in the future. They will ensure that it meets the local requirement of what the 5G technology would need. But on the existing one, they are also trying to do the tests, and as I said, they're going through the regulatory clearance and also certification to make sure that it does not interfere and they are safe to use.
I need your comment on, multiple airports is coming. It's under process. How many airports SITA is providing the technology? Like I'm talking about Jewel, I'm talking about Navi Mumbai Airport, and other airports is now, redeveloping. So what kind of services are you looking for and providing?
So as I said, today we are working with almost 55 airports, and even the new Jewel Airport, we are working with them to provide the airport management system. And our commitment to India is huge. So we are continuing to invest and making sure that we get the best technology to the country and also at the right price, to making sure that we contribute to the vision of the government to really expand the aviation for India.
My final question to you. How you see the development and growth of Indian aviation in terms of businesses, in terms of revolution?
So if you look at, maybe I'll take a step back and say overall Asia Pacific, right? So if we look at the number of commercial aircrafts ordered globally, there are almost about 7,000 aircrafts, of which 5,000 odd are just in Asia. So that shows that this is the place to be in terms of the expansion where the industry will grow. And if I look at just India, everyone knows that just two airlines have ordered over 1,000 aircrafts. So clearly there is a lot of expansion happening in the air transport industry, and with that expansion there is a lot of investment on infrastructure too, because even the airports will need to expand and cater to this traffic and these number of aircrafts and passenger which would be coming in the future. And for me, the answer to that is clearly technology. Because yes, the airports, new airports will be built, expansions will happen, but at the end of the day, there is a limit. And even if you want to expand, it's kind of a 10 to 15 years project. It's not going to happen overnight. So if there is so much of surge in terms of demand and the passenger travel, how does the technology help to meet this basic requirement? So like you mentioned earlier, when we look at DigiYatra, traditionally you would take about 40 minutes from entering the airport reaching to your gate, but with DigiYatra you can do that in 7 minutes. So basically you are able to use the same infrastructure at the airport much efficiently and much better. So clearly, the technology here is here to stay, and that will help enable the growth which we are looking at for India.
My final question to you, in addition, is that in India we are facing at the airport a chaos. There is no long queue. How you and other airports, providers, service providers are looking at you, that you are providing some kind of relief to the passengers who are standing in a queue, like Metro Cities airports. Is there any talks between you and airport is going on?
So yes, we are in discussion. So one of the area, and again I would touch to DigiYatra. Today, the DigiYatra is deployed only for domestic passengers. So you still have challenges at the international side of the passenger. And on top of that, this is deployed at only 4 touch points today. That means when you enter the terminal, CISF, basically that's one, pre-SHA, security hold, post-SHA, after you do the security, and at the gate, only 4. Just imagine if you can use this technology at every touch point. So for example, when you enter the terminal, even when you do the self-bag drop, you can use your face and you don't need any documentation. The process will be much faster. Imagine if you are traveling and for duty free, you can use it. Going to the lounge, you can still use just your face and walk through. That will change the game. And there are a number of airports which we are working with globally who have deployed that. So for India, I feel that when we expand the footprint of DigiYatra at multiple touch points and expand that to international passenger also, that will ensure and help reduce the congestion and the experience at the airport, and much smoother and better walk-through experience.